Hello, welcome to this new Back on Track series, a song that's called Tarn. This is a tiny little lake in the Lake District in the north of England, one of my favourite places on earth. It's so beautiful. Whenever I go there, I just feel kind of serene and at one with the world. And that's what this song makes me feel like. At the moment, it's right at the very beginning of life. This isn't, some of the stuff that I've done recently have been quite kind of mature pieces where there's lots of music being there. That's not the case here, right at the very beginning. And what I've done, and brace yourself, and this is going to be a bit of a shock, I've used a guitar VST instrument. The unthinkable has happened. It's just a placeholder. Even though I've got nothing against it, I think it sounds really beautiful. The session guitarist picked acoustic, and that's why I used it. I pressed a note on this thing and it sounded amazing. And so I've actually used it as the inspiration to create this song. At the moment, it's just an acoustic guitar line, and it's about 4 minutes long. So I hope you'll bear with me, but I think it's really lovely. I think this is going to be a really good song. Let's play it, and then we'll come back and have a chat about some of the stuff that's gone on. really pleased with that. I think it's nice. So that's where it came from. Pressing a single note on this keyboard, going, wow, yeah, I like that. And as you bring more notes in, it starts adding variations. And so over the course of about half an hour, once I realised that I was onto something, and yes, this is the next one. Wow, right. Get it in stack mode, press record, nice big hefty loop, press record and just go. And over the course of maybe half an hour, I then just played different patterns, just whatever came to mind really. Went away and kind of picked out the good bits and said, right, well, those phrases are nice, they sound really nice together. And there were occasionally moments when I'd change my mind on something and start playing a new pattern, and the intermixing of those two things sounded really good as well. So maybe a week's worth of messing with that MIDI. This is probably 2 weeks ago was the first moment I was just browsing around in Contact, seeing what new stuff I had, and just press that magic note. And from that point onwards, I've been this song's been kind of in the process of being born. The name came a couple of days ago. I was making tea and I was just kind of humming it to myself, which I don't usually do. And the image of this place, the Tarn House, popped up. Tarn House is kind of my emotional recharging station. I go there, I mean, obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic at the moment, but when we have the opportunity to go for days out to the Lake District, it's about an hour and a half drive, and it's one of the most beautiful places in England. If you're ever in England, you must visit the Lake District. It's just stunning. We don't have massive mountains in the UK. The biggest mountain is, really not very big at all. But the Lake District is the best of it. And it's all clustered together in a really small space, and you just get really stunning views. Tarn House is this tiny little lake surrounded by mountains, and it's just utterly gorgeous. And I've got some lovely memories of being there. We used to have a red setter, and I remember sat at the top of this hill eating our picnic, and the dog saw something, way away and just gone, absolutely woof, gone. Me running down this hill chasing the dog, shouting after her. Brilliant stuff. So I want to try to evoke those kind of memories that I've got of this beautiful place. This chord track at the top has caused me some grief, because recently I switched to using I say the chord track, it's not a chord track anymore. I've actually abandoned the chord track because it let me down. I went through the song painstakingly, bar by bar, figuring out what all of the scales were after I'd played it in, because obviously I'm just playing random notes. So the key pattern for this thing is absolutely all over the place. It turns out that I've counted, and it's all subjective, but I've counted 8 distinct scales in this song, 8 distinct keys, and something 35 different changes, 36 from one key to another, including stuff like Hungarian major gypsy, which that's a major E sliding up to an E major sliding up to an F major, and I just clustered all of those notes into a scale and envisaged doing a little kind of 1 bar mini fruity thing around that, and it sounds really nice. It's quite exotic. Kind of, I don't know, North African kind of feeling, or whatever, Middle Eastern. So I plumbed all of the scales into chord map, saved the project, reloaded it the next day, recorded a video. This isn't the first version of episode 1 of this series I've recorded, and unbeknownst to me, the chord track had basically overwritten all of the chords, or just corrupted them. They were just absolute nonsense. So I fixed it, and as a safety measure, because I was now suspicious of the chord track, created a duplicate using my old style of the marker track with scales markers. Closed Cubase down, reopened it, and this is what it gave me. So the scales markers completely unaffected, that's just plain text, absolutely fine. Chord track, shot to hell. Don't know what's happened. It's taken its feed from something somewhere in the background, but where the hell all of these Lydians have come from, I don't know. I wonder if it's analysing the song and just coming to wrong conclusions, because this guitar line has articulation notes in, so these aren't scales. I can only think that it's maybe interpreting these notes in some kind of scalar form and just making an absolute bobbins of it. So I intend to raise a support case with Steinberg. There's the smoking gun. Don't do that to the stuff that I input manually. I think the chord track is probably supposed to be more dynamic than the purpose to which I'm putting it. So I've had to resort to using static scale markers again, which is very sad because it doesn't then render the keyboard screen in the background and show you where your scales are visually in the key editor. So I am sad to lose that functionality, and I want to try and get Steinberg to fix it if it is a bug, or tell me how to stop the chord track being corrupted every time I reopen the application. So that was pretty crap. The only change I can envisage to the structure at this point will be when I come to do a solo, if I need to do some kind of elongating, stretch something out, I don't know. It's going to be difficult to decide what to do first, whether or not to put some guitar lines down and learn how to play it properly on an actual guitar. I don't think this VST's track will survive in any form in its current thing. It's just like an inspiration fountain. And then I'll learn new guitar parts over the top of it, record them, then eventually throw the VST away. But I wanted to show you a song right from the very beginning. A lot of the stuff that I've done recently has been much more mature when I've presented episode 1 to you, and I've basically picked something out of my library of old music, said, right, I'm going to work on this, I'm going to get this, production or release ready. Whereas with this one, I wanted to start right from the ground, right from ground zero, and you can see the entire thing develop in front of you. So there you go. Don't trust the chord track in Cubase, it sucks. And don't be afraid to use guitar VSTs if you're a guitarist. It's okay. There is no such thing as cheating in music. I say it over and over again, and this is just yet another proof it's okay for a guitarist to use a guitar VST, even if this made it through to the final version and you were hearing this sound in the final song. If it sounds good, who cares? Don't be precious about this stuff. I have hang-ups that I'm trying to get rid of one at a time, and this was one. Using a guitar VST in a song that I'm writing would have been absolutely unthinkable not very long ago. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing, hit notifications. You'll be sure not to miss the next episode. Hope to see you then. Thanks a lot.